Welcome to 5 Minute Nerd, where we break down the best in nerd culture in just 5 minutes. Today we're diving into a classic, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Hobbit, first published in 1937, is often hailed as the prelude to Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, but it stands strong as its own adventure. The story follows Bilbo Baggins, a comfort-loving hobbit from the Shire, who is unexpectedly recruited by the wizard Gandalf to join a group of 13 dwarves on a quest to reclaim their homeland. The dwarves, led by Thorin Oakenshield, are determined to take back the Lonely Mountain and its vast treasure from Smaug, a fire-breathing dragon who has taken over their kingdom. Bilbo is initially hesitant, preferring his peaceful life, but Gandalf insists that there is more to Bilbo than meets the eye. Throughout their journey, Bilbo proves himself in ways no one, including himself, could have predicted. His first big challenge comes when they encounter 3 trolls, where his quick thinking delays their capture until Gandalf arrives to save them. Next, they visit Rivendell, the home of the elves, where they receive guidance from Elrond, an elf lord who helps them interpret ancient maps. As the company continues its journey through the Misty Mountains, they are captured by goblins, but Bilbo becomes separated from the group and stumbles upon a mysterious creature named Gollum. It's here that Bilbo finds the One Ring, a powerful artifact that turns its wearer invisible, though at this point Bilbo doesn't understand its true significance. Once inside the mountain, Bilbo confronts Smaug in a tense encounter where his cleverness saves him. He steals a golden cup to prove his worth to the dwarves, and through careful conversation, learns of a weak spot in the dragon's armor. Smaug, enraged by the theft, flies off to attack the nearby lake town, also known as Esgaroth, where he is ultimately killed by Bard the Bowman, using the information Bilbo uncovered. Tensions are high when an unexpected threat arises. An army of goblins and wolves descends upon them, forcing all sides to unite in the Battle of the 5 Armies. With the help of Gandalf and the arrival of eagles, they win the battle. But Thorin dies from his wounds, making peace with Bilbo before he passes. In the end, Bilbo returns to the Shire, forever changed by his adventure. He may not have taken much treasure, but he has gained a sense of courage, wisdom, and a deeper understanding of the wider world. But how did Tolkien dream up this incredible world? The story of The Hobbit began in the 1920s when Tolkien, a professor of Anglo-Saxon at Oxford, was grading student papers. Legend has it that while marking a particularly dull exam, he scribbled the now famous line, "In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit." That simple line planted the seed for what would become a tale rich in adventure and lore. Tolkien was heavily inspired by Norse mythology, ancient epics like Beowulf, and his love of language. Many of the names and creatures in The Hobbit were drawn directly from Old Norse sagas. But despite these influences, The Hobbit is uniquely Tolkien, a perfect blend of whimsy, danger, humor, and deep-rooted mythology. Tolkien completed the manuscript in the early 1930s, but it wasn't until a family friend recommended it to a publisher that The Hobbit found its way into print in 1937. It was an immediate success, capturing the imagination of both children and adults, and it paved the way for the much larger and more complex saga of The Lord of the Rings. So that's your detailed dive into The Hobbit, a story that began with one scribbled line and grew into one of the most beloved works of fantasy literature ever written. If you haven't read it yet, or it's been a while, consider this your call to adventure. That's all for episode 1 of 5 Minute Nerd, and next time we'll tackle another iconic piece of nerd culture. Until then, keep nerding out. To keep getting nerd culture broken down in 5 minutes, don't forget to like and subscribe. If there are other topics you would like to see covered by 5 Minute Nerd, leave them in the comments.